Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back, lovely people.
Today.
We're talking about today, Shan.
My least favorite thing. Capitalism.
The thing that thinks it's a bad bitch but really isn't a bad bitch.
When you think you fucking it up but you're not doing shit.
That one.
But fucking it up in the worst way.
Literally. Fucking the bitches up.
Anyway, before that, before we get into it, Franklin, tell me.
Yeah.
What's got you fucked up?
Oh, man. Not a lot. Two things have me fucked up.
Okay.
First one is overbearing supervisors and micromanaging as motherfuckers. Because there's no other way to put it. You can't put it lightly. Leave me alone. I'm doing my job while you in my business. Me leaving 9 minutes early, is it about me or is it about you? I did all my work. What's your problem? Is it because I'm with my coworker that you don't like? Okay, there's that. And
the tea.
And the conversation will come. The conversation will come. And I'm going to be like, There's that. And then not having enough time to do everything that I want to do. Because we got to work. And we're leading into it, right? We got to work to ... To
pay to live.
Listen, that shit is wild and never ending. But that's enough. Those are the two that have been shaking me up. How are you? What's got you fucked up?
Similarly, time, but not having enough time to sleep as much as I need and want to.
Okay, because you deserve to sleep. Sleep is important. Our bodies need it.
It's one of the pillars.
Oh, I like that. Come on, pillars.
Let me just real quick.
Go off. Ooh.
My therapist made these. But it's like the 5 pillars of self-care.
Oh, wow. Food, water, hygiene, sleep, and movement. 4 kinds of coping. Distraction. Emotional awareness. Self-soothing. And opposite action. Come on, therapist.
Yeah.
Wow.
My therapist be doing the damn thing.
You gotta live for your therapist.
I do.
Support.
Sleep. I deserve it. I need it. I want it. But there ain't enough hours in a day for me to sleep as much as I want to and do work.
That's unfair. Why isn't there enough time? You want to tell the people?
It's not enough time because I got to get up to go to work, to make this money, to pay to live, so I can go to work and make money.
Friend, we can make that a song. Can't sleep. I gotta get up. Gotta go to work to make this money. Gotta pay my bills. Then go to sleep. Sleep for motherfucking 2 hours. Get up again. Make this money. That could be a song.
It's just, it's not right.
No.
It's not right. And I saw a post the other day. I think I told you about this. But the post said, we have like 3 hours to ourselves before we have to go to sleep so we can get up to go to work the next day, and it feels like a scam.
We should get paid to relax those 3 hours. Because we're already devoting, you know? More than half of our lives.
More than half. That's depressing when you say it out loud. I don't like that.
Right? I don't like that.
I just made that whole sound on the thing.
And it'll be all right.
I don't like that.
I don't like that. Shit.
Before we dive in, I wanna read something to the girls.
Come on.
Okay?
The girls are ready.
All right, good. Capitalism does not permit an even flow of economic resources. With this system, a small privileged few are rich beyond conscious, and almost all others are doomed to be poor at some level. That's the way the system works. And since we know that the system will not change the rules, we are going to have to change the system.
Whew.
Ask me who said that.
Who said that?
MLKJ.
Come on.
Dr. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay. Martin Luther King Jr. said, there are intersections between class and capitalism, and we gotta talk about it.
Because the capitalists are the ones with the power. Mm-hmm. They're the chosen few, right? The select few. They're the ones out here purging at the dinner table, if you hear what I'm saying.
Okay. They're the ones born into it.
Makes me angry.
How you born into it, but then you bitter that people are overworked and tired?
Working hard to just barely get by. Mm-hmm. We hot. We already.
Hot. Everything is money.
Everything.
This fake currency that rotates and rotates and fucking rotates.
And then you just burn it. You just incinerate it to destroy it after you decide it's not whatever. But you can't just give it because that's too much.
I wish we could just keep all our money and not have to... and I know that there are benefits to, taxing our paychecks and etc. But sometimes I'm like, I would tell you this all the time. We were born here. We were born on this earth, so that should be enough privilege. You should sustain our lives. I think there are more than enough resources.
You wouldn't think so, but there are. Mm-hmm. There are more than enough resources. Okay. Which, you know what? Let's get into a question.
You said ready. So, first question is, how is capitalism masked in our society? I have 3 categories under this that we can dive into and explore. First one is pick yourself up from your bootstraps. We hear this all the fucking time. Next one is work hard, there's no play hard, so it's good that it says go hard. Work hard, go hard, because there's no other way. That's not how that phrase goes, but that's how it's going to go tonight. Then the last one is breaks are for the lazy.
You know what's so funny to me? Mm-hmm. Some jobs, most jobs, you have an unpaid break because fuck your rest.
Yep. Or you have a 30-minute lunch.
Fuck your desire to eat. You better bring lunch with you. Because if you got to go out and get it, that's 20 of your 30 minutes. Yep. And then the 10 of the last thing, you better be gobble, gobble, gobble. Cause
not Thanksgiving. Not the turkey.
Listen here. Mm-hmm.
Go off.
I think that is some of the most ridiculous shit. And believe it or not, we have it good here in Maryland because other states, I don't know if you want to put where we live, but
please go ahead.
We have it good where we are because of the way breaks are set up. In other states, I have a friend who lives in Missouri now, and essentially they want them to work 9 hours because they're like, that break, it don't matter.
So how do you want me to keep working? You want me to faint?
It's unfathomable. Mm-hmm. Because the way you have people working, you would not work that way.
Yep. And
you don't work that way.
And they're probably incapable of doing it. If they were to do it, they'll most likely fail.
Mm. It's unconscionable, honestly. It's insanity.
Must be nice to be the man behind the curtain.
Mm-hmm. The puppeteer.
Okay.
The first one you said, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Mm-hmm. Oh, I hate it.
A classic one.
I hate it. Power through it. Tough it out. Hate it.
There's like a perceived underlying outcome that I think that comes with that. If you keep on picking yourself up, you'll
succeed.
You'll succeed.
Lies.
Right. Because soon enough, you'll be wealthy like me. How? Please, how?
The system is not set up for me to be wealthy like you.
Come on.
The system is set up for me to stay where I'm at in the
Okay.
same position, working hard,
Shit.
doing all this hard work to get nowhere because I can't.
Because middle class is not what it used to be. And when are we going to stop faking? I saw a video. Someone was saying that in Los Angeles, 110K a year is not enough. What? What?
Can you tell me why my rent goes up every year?
Go off?
Because I don't see the changes. I don't see nothing.
You said,
changing.
What are you upgrading for me to have to pay more?
I'm living in the same apartment with the same conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Got the same windows that need plastic ceiling around them that y'all don't provide in the wintertime that I have to go out and buy myself and put around my windows myself.
No,
so what am I paying more money for?
That's fucked up.
What am I paying more money for? You about to donate some furniture or something?
That would be nice. You about to furnish the apartment, period?
Okay. You about to upgrade appliances? You about to give me a washer dryer in unit? Like
That one, right? Shit, come on.
What is the increase doing? What are we paying for? I need to see the results. And there ain't none. But if I don't pay my rent, I get kicked out. So pick yourself up by your bootstraps for me is just like not it. It's just not it. And it's not going to be it. And I'm not working myself tirelessly because somebody told me I have to.
Yep.
When they don't give a shit about my health. And absolutely not.
It's dated. I mean, it made no sense from the jump. But maybe for a certain demographic, it might work. And I mean, I'm glad if it's working for your demographic, then I hope it continues to work. But it's not working for all of us, so we got to figure something out.
Really. We really do.
We fucking going in. We going in this fucking topic. Like,
I'm telling you. It's a full topic. It's a full... To tell a person, like, just work hard, you'll get there is so arbitrary and a lie. Like, it's just a bold-faced lie. Like, it's like, keep working hard so you can get to this thing, so you can attain it. But it's like, as soon as you get close, it gets pushed further away.
What if my wages don't align with whatever imaginary goals these people have set?
How can minimum...
Come on, say it. Go off. I know they're going to be listening and be like,
Minimum wage is supposed to be the bare minimum you can make to sustain yourself.
To what?
To live. Okay? You can't do shit with minimum wage. What is the federal minimum wage now? Like $10?
I think it's more than $10.
Is it?
Let's see. Because wasn't it 15? Like, oh man, if it's not at least 15, I'm going to lose my mind.
I'm over here cracking up. What is it?
As of January 1st, 2022, Maryland's minimum wage increased from $12.20 to $12. Ready? And 50 cents.
I am weak. Okay, what is the federal minimum wage right now?
Oh my God. This is ridiculous.
Because I know the federal minimum at one point was like $7.25, and I really hope it's no longer that. It's been a long time since I've been in the minimum wage circuit. Actually, I'm in the minimum wage circuit with my part-time job, but like neither here nor there.
$12.50.
$12. Okay, so that's the federal minimum.
Louisiana, federal no state minimum, $7.25.
Yeah.
Maine, $12.75. Massachusetts, $14.25. Okay. Damn. That's as of July 21st, 2022.
So what's that face?
Hold up. Never mind. I will retract what I said. What is the U.S. federal minimum wage 2022? Right? $7.25 per hour.
Yep. Our federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Let me just do some quick calculations because
sick.
let's say you work a 40-hour work week. 725 an hour, 40 hours a week, $290 a week. There are 52 weeks in a year.
Oh no.
That is $15,080.
No.
How do you expect a person to survive?
It's impossible.
Not even thrive, not like be successful in life, but just survive on $15,080. And then you have to say all this shit about fucking welfare and
I was just thinking that, it's the body language for me. You know, your body language is giving me, I'm a cuss a bitch out.
But I was
going to say, God forbid you have children. And not to mention the prices of daycare,
bitch.
Prices of Pampers, not Pampers, diapers. In Spanish we say Pampers because make it make sense. Everything is super expensive.
Childcare prices are astronomical. Astronomical. If I am making $7.25 an hour, I better have another job.
And you better find imaginary time to take care of your kids and be present for your children in a system that's not meant for you.
The personal life where? But y'all pro-life out here wanting fucking kids. But then when they get here, what are we supposed to do with them? When people can't afford to have you know what?
Pick yourself up from that mansion and drop me a paycheck every motherfucking week.
Sustain
my child. Give my child adequate education so my child can have the same opportunities, maybe, that you had.
Where are the resources? Give me quality resources.
Come on, nutrition. Talk about nutrition.
Don't put me in a food desert, Jesus.
Come on. Just how that impacts people developmentally and just so much.
And then we always have something to say about like low income communities. But the system is built so they stay low income. It is not built for success for people who are low income, who come from low income communities, who have families who work really hard and have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps their entire life just to barely get by.
Yep.
And then it's cyclical.
That was a dramatic effect with it.
With
that should stay there. That was good. He said, "Boom."
It's so aggravating. It is truly upsetting. And then the welfare system could be so much better than it is. Because if you make a certain amount of money, you don't need help. But if you make a certain amount of money and you're barely getting by, you still don't need help, but you're barely making it.
That's just what I don't understand, yo. Our neighbor back at my parents' house, she was talking to us that she has a newborn. And she's like, oh, yeah, they help me. They give me like 5, I don't know if it's...
Formula?
Thank you. I keep thinking of the brand. I'm like, not the brand.
Infamil?
Yes. They give her 5 a week. And she's like, oh, but I don't have money. So I'm like, you have a child. Like, what happens if you can't afford to buy any more formula? We're talking about a newborn. And then she also has to work, so she's figuring out who's going to take care of her child. And in my head, I'm like, but it's a newborn. Your newborn needs you. There's a certain amount of attachment, 100%, that you need as a newborn.
You said 100%.
No, we have to clarify, you know? It's not people. 50, but listen, if you can't do it, you can't do it.
God forbid you take time off of work. God forbid you have parental leave.
Let's add another layer to this.
Okay.
Because God forbid, Lord is out tonight. God forbid she cannot be there for her child like someone else who has more resources. Then here we go.
Child Protective Services.
And then who are we bashing for being a bad mother? Please go.
But then again, because then we said Child Protective Services and it just came right around.
Hey, this is your area of expertise.
Listen, no, it's not anymore.
Oh, wow.
And then we talk about like getting the welfare system involved in terms of child protective services because neglect happens, because parents are working their asses off just to barely, literally barely get by, barely do the bare minimum for their children, and then they don't know how to show up for children because they didn't have somebody show up for them in their childhood, and then, like I said, it's cyclical, so it's going to keep happening. And Black and brown families are astronomically involved with the system more than white people, but it's not a class thing, it's not a color thing, right?
Because we don't see color.
We're evolved.
Bullshit. We're evolving into the era of bullshit. We are marinating in the bullshit. That's what we're doing. As a first generation immigrant, you know, I never say that. As a first generation immigrant, my mother had to work her ass off. And there were hours and days that I did not days, I saw her like in the night or maybe in the mornings, right? But there were hella hours that I did not spend time with my mother because she was out doing what?
Working.
To what?
Pay.
What?
To live.
And you know, as a kid, you get resentful. But now as an adult, I'm like, damn, this system is not it. And she did what she could. And look where she's at today.
Making it happen.
But damn, you had to work so hard.
Yeah. There were years of sacrifice.
You
truly.
have to give up part of your life. Just to what? Just so that they know. What to what?
To do what? Work? To do what? Make money to pay to live?
Yeah.
Barely. And you know, my mother, not an immigrant, but definitely saw her working her ass off. You know, and then there's like the part where she chose not to be there, but you know, not here, different podcast.
Oh man, trauma part 2.
Trauma. But like seeing my mother work her ass off to be head of household and get told by the government that she makes too much money so she can't get food stamps. I'm sorry? Where did she make too much money? How? Supporting a house full of people, paying rent for a house full of people, and the way my mother is, the way she has been like conditioned, and the way I'm also conditioned, very family oriented, and very like blood. Well, I'm very blood doesn't equal family, but like she's very like extended family is still family. And sometimes that doesn't mean a blood relation, but that's fine. You're still family and we'll still take you in. And she'll like share her last. And I love that mentality, but I also hate that mentality because like you can't give your all because then you have nothing for yourself. Anyway, side note.
Listen, no, that is not a side note. That is a perfect input right here.
Okay.
Yes, because listen, now we add on again. It's like lights are flashing. A Black woman working hard as fuck, and now let's add mental health into that.
Let me tell you here, because there was a significant loss for my family. And a significant loss for everyone across the board was my grandmother passing away in early 2000s. And like that was detrimental to my mother's mental health.
Oh, yeah.
And like talk about trauma. There was like a whole breakdown that happened and like hospitalization that happened. And there's just so much that we don't talk about in the Black community. Just like Black mental health is like, what is that? Pick yourself up by your bootstraps and you keep going. Because that's what we've had to do for so long, was keep going. Because no one gives a shit. So you find a way to make it through. So I'm glad that like the tides are changing in that, and on a larger scale anyway. And like there is more concern for mental health as a whole. And how it contributes to the whole person. Because it is important. It is just as important as physical health. And I'm glad we're finally seeing that. But it's also like we don't live in a world that is conducive to good to mental wellness. We just simply don't. We live under systems that are horrible, that wreak havoc on our health. And capitalism is one of them. Unfortunately.
You know, a goal of mine, mark my words, and it's already, this is about to be on the interwebs.
Listen here, immortalize that shit.
I am going to, 20 years from now, my parents will not be working. You know how I am.
I know how you are.
Listen, I don't know how I'm going to work it out, but it's going to work out somehow. Because this is not the vibe. It's not the move. And that's not to say us having this conversation isn't us discounting the privileges that we have, right? Because I'm glad we are alive and we're doing what we can, right? We're helping people. We're living our lives as much as we can, right?
Yeah.
But it's not. No, it's not the vibe. It's not the girl.
It's not the girl.
It's not giving what was advertised. For some of us.
Come on, next question.
I
want that American dream question so bad right now.
I love how we just go into fucking, and it's so great. Okay, next question is, you want to do the American dream first? We gonna do that one first?
You want to do American dream first?
Let's see.
Because I feel like that was a good lead-in, what you just said.
You said connections, therapist. Next question is the American dream real or just an illusion?
Illusion.
Big fat illusion.
At one point, I think it was more of a dream, and I think it is still. So, okay. It's not the greatest country.
It's perfect place to start. Oh my God, please go.
I want you to be able to see your face right now.
Because I'm sick of it. Let's stop lying to ourselves, please. What? You want all this money for the military. Okay, now what? You want your toys. These grown men want their toys. What else now? Go ahead. Because I can't handle it.
It's not the greatest country, but it is still better than some other countries, and I accept that, and I understand that. And to be here is still a privilege.
Absolutely.
And I understand that as well. That being said and understood, to get to a place to be thriving in this country is not what it used to be. To get to a place where you're making six figures doesn't mean what it used to mean.
Right.
So there is quite possibly a version of the American dream that still exists for a lot of people, but for people who were born here, who grew up in poverty or just above the poverty line, the experience is different. Mm-hmm. The American dream is a fallacy. It just is. You don't commonly see people who look like you thriving and reaching this ideal American dream. You just don't.
And it attacks you in all ways, right? Because even, obviously, your race has a lot to do with it, right? Mm-hmm. But then if we want to talk about your body size, your sexual orientation, your gender identity, sometimes you can't meet your dreams because of those identities, because you don't align with the majority.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's not fair. And talk about systems being designed to keep you down. Mm-hmm. Different equals scary.
Yes.
And we're afraid of it. And so we have to shun it. We have to do our best to eradicate it because we're afraid of it.
On a global scale.
100%.
And I think that this illusion of an American dream, I know.
Come on, no.
This illusion of the American dream outside of the U.S. is misleading. Because it's creating these perceptions that when people come to the U.S., everything is provided in abundance. And I'm like, that's not how it is. You know, some people really think that money just be out here. Like, ooh, let's go pluck some money.
That was so good.
No, but it really creates, though, again, back to your point, there are a lot of great things, right, about being here. We have access to so much.
Yeah.
And a lot of that access is consistent, but there are things that we just don't have. And we need to be honest with ourselves. There's nothing wrong with being honest and saying, "Ooh, this country is giving me a lot, right? I have grown in this country. But then there are some drawbacks.
Yeah.
I am impacted by this country. There's
Absolutely.
nothing wrong with it. But if we are honest, then we lose. No, if the people in power are honest, then they lose, I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. When people talk about like the American dream or wanting to reach this thing, I often think about our homeless population or unhoused population, and like people with severe mental health issues and illnesses, and how the system really is not set up for people like that. And if you have mental illness or mental health issues and you can't pull it together, so to speak, you're fucked. You're fucked. And I mean that so genuinely. You are fucked.
No, you're right. Yes. Then we have, see, and then this brings in generational trauma. This brings in, our genetic mutations and being predisposed for certain mental health conditions. But where does that come into play? Is that not considered?
No.
No.
No, it's not. And I think of it oftentimes with my own mental illnesses because like sometimes it is hard to keep pushing and push through and get to the point where I can be functional. Sometimes I'm not functional. And that is why I identify myself as having a disability, because it truly is disabling to me sometimes. And it's just so like brain breaking to think about. Because like if I don't keep pushing myself, I'm not going to be in a place where I can maintain my lifestyle and my way of living. Oof. So even if it's to my own detriment mentally, I have to keep going. Like I really genuinely don't have a choice. And that is scary as shit. And then I also have like other illnesses and that like I don't know if they run in my family necessarily, but I do have family members with like schizophrenia and bigger illnesses that it's like they can't work and they do depend on the government for their monthly income, and it's like it's fixed and it's low. It's fixed and it's low, y'all. Like it's real and it's tough. And you can't break out of cycles like that.
Right.
That's just the truth. As much as like wishful thinking is present and like, yeah, we're going to get to this place of like abolition and we're going to see more equity. We're just not there. And I don't know that we'll be there in my lifetime.
Yeah. And this toxic positivity is not going to fade out anytime soon, unfortunately. With your family members, do they have access to mental health and psychiatric services?
Well, see, then it's a different...
You said it's
a different conversation. Because then it's like, you gotta... It's person to person. It's person to person.
Well, let's assume. I hope I'm understanding. You let me know. Let's assume that they do want services.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's assume that this is someone who is like, yeah, I have this illness. It is impacting my life. I want services. Now what?
Now you better hope and pray that the public services that you have access to are quality. Because then we get into talking about quality of services.
Come on.
And they are not created equal.
No. Talk about it. Then we go, damn, it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. It's a cycle, and it just loops, and it gets deeper and deeper. Then talk about mental health providers being overworked.
Caseloads out of this world. You want to talk? Listen here. I used to be in, you guys know this, I used to work in public welfare with foster children, but I got a glimpse into the different facets and partnering with different agencies and working and it's so hard to do a good job when the need is so high and so significant. And the need is high and significant.
Oh, yeah.
And you have people who don't want to work with certain agencies or companies because they're not getting paid what they're worth and the workload is astronomical and you can't keep up with it, and then your health is declining, and it's this like back and forth. I gotta choose, and ultimately I'm gonna choose me. Sorry y'all, but I am.
Because you have to.
What is the alternative?
No other way. Come on.
What is the alternative? If I'm not choosing me, who's choosing me?
Because the employers are not. The system is not choosing you.
It's unfair. We need reform. We do. We really do. And like the levels and the policymakers, they're not the boots on the ground. So whoever is like in these boardrooms coming up with these policies, they can miss me and they can suck my asshole, to be quite honest. And then you have like change makers who really like buck against the system, but it's like fighting a losing battle.
And that is exhausting. And then this leads to burnout. And I know we are specifically talking about mental health providers at this moment, but burnout is universal. So if you are burnt, I don't care what type of work you're doing, if you're feeling burnt out, it's because you are burning the fuck out. Don't let nobody tell you that you're not exhausted. Don't let nobody tell you that you have to overwork yourself for a motherfucker who isn't paying you enough and who don't deserve your time, attention, nor talent, I mean. Motherfuckers. I'd be mad.
That hit a chord, huh?
Yeah, it did. Because people be burnt the fuck out, yo.
Burnt out and still going, running on fumes. Running on fumes. I burnt out my first year of work. I don't know if I ever like had that like
burnt out, still going, burning on fumes. Burning on fumes.
I can't with you. It's a song.
Listen.
But like my first year of work in the public welfare system, burnt out. I had to go into an IOP, intensive outpatient program, for those of you who don't know. To get my mental health back on track, because like I couldn't do it. Straight up. Was no good to myself or anyone else. Thankfully, my supervisors at the time were really supportive, and like I also found a way to make it work where I was working a 40-hour work week and attending IOP several days a week, which was tough, but that was the way I saw to get through it, was to try and manage the 40-hour work week that I was doing, which was honestly above 40 hours because the need. But like, yeah, I had burnt out, and it took, we haven't talked about SI on here.
No.
But it took a scare to get me to the place where I was like, okay, I need to do something about this. And it shouldn't take that. I shouldn't be at the end of my rope to be like, okay, I need help. I shouldn't even, like, to get to that place is so wild. So wild. and still be like crushing under the weight of the system that is not designed for me to succeed.
Yeah. It all goes back again to trauma. It all goes back to trauma. Because if your mental health is impacted drastically because of the system, you are at risk of losing your life.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I keep saying fucked up, but that's some fucked up shit. And there are so many people with SI that we don't know. A lot of us have thoughts. It's so common.
Somebody told me, I think they said I don't have suicide ideation. I just like think about not being here. I'm sorry.
Oh.
So let's have a conversation about what suicidal ideation is. Okay? Okay? Yeah. Because even if your thought isn't like, I want to kill myself, it's still like, my existence ends. So I just... Okay.
You say, excuse me? What's going on? Shit.
Just like, wow.
Oh, man. Okay, you ready for the next question?
I'm ready for the next question.
Next question is, how does capitalism impact communities of color?
Keep the brown down.
I mean, that's pretty simple. That question has a simple answer.
Keeps the brown down. I actually really like it.
It's good. It's good as shit. It's good as shit.
Oh, goodness. But, like, then you... Okay, Jesus, I'm about to go back to slavery. Because when you look at the way neighborhoods work, when you look at the class division, when you look at the people who are in the low-income communities, there's a commonality, and that's not on accident.
Right.
When you talk about land ownership,
Yep. Come on.
we have to talk about slavery because we have to look at who was owning the land, and then you talk about sharecropping, and you look at like you were at a disadvantage and you can't really own your land. And now we're at this point in life of whatever the fuck this is, what you want to call this part of life, I don't know. But then you talk about home ownership. Prices are incredibly high for little quality. Who has access to be able to own their own homes? And then you talk about property tax, so I can still take your shit away from you and you don't really own it. These things that happen don't happen in a vacuum.
Right.
And they're not on accident. But we our collective consciousness is not where it needs to be.
No.
At all. And you have populations of people who are like trying to convince you that this is all on accident, that this is not by design, that this is just happened to happen this way.
So it happens that they just have all the power?
Just so happens.
So I'm going to categorize our society or our system in this way. Bear with me as I elaborate.
Okay. I'm ready. I'm here.
We live in a narcissistic system.
Ooh.
That devalues history, that minimizes experiences of people of color, the history that has impacted people of color, and we like to act as if the past happened already and that it is no longer occurring.
It happened. It's done.
Yeah,
you got to move on from it.
Yeah, it's like it's the same thing with motherfuckers who are narcissistic Motherfuckers who are narcissistic and parenting their children. Oh yeah, I beat you. I talked to you awfully. I didn't acknowledge your emotions. I minimized your feelings. I don't know. I have no emotional intelligence. You did it to yourself, right? So then the child grows, and the child is like, "But you fucked me up. You fucked me up. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, how do I get reparations?" And then you keep telling the child is progressing developmentally. You tell the child, and you tell the adult who's out in the world that their experience is invalid, that their skin color and these identities that they possess mean nothing. So, what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? We're going to act like nothing happened. We're going to act like everything we're saying is shit. History will repeat itself. History is repeating itself.
Come on.
And what are we going to do about it?
What are we doing about it?
Crickets. Inserts crickets.
Cricket noise.
Okay. You have to nurture the people. We're not there. You have to acknowledge people's history.
The history is painful.
Yeah.
It's not pretty. It's ugly, in fact. I think a lot about history and like racism and the way this country like has operated and operates. And it's like we don't care to acknowledge that our history is racist and our history is white supremacist, and we still operate under white supremacist ideals. Like, we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to pretend like it's a real thing that is happening
globally.
Listen here, because Kat and I, we be talking about this white supremacist culture.
And I'm like, it's right in your face, though. We can't ignore it. I know it's a norm. You've seen people on media that look the same. Pay attention and wake up.
The colonizers, man.
Fucked up some shit. Removed history. Eliminated populations.
Tried to rewrite the shit.
Used religion as a form of power. And I always say this, there is nothing wrong with a spiritual connection or with a religion, an individualistic, religion or whatever the hell. But if we really think about it, this shit's fucked up.
I just can't believe in the slave master's God. I just refuse.
Oh, same.
I refuse.
There's no way.
I refuse.
There is no way. And this does not mean that community and faith is bad.
Right.
This means the history of it was not the best. But you can still have your faith and have your community because it's great and it helps a lot of people.
Religious trauma is real.
Yes.
It is real. You can't wash that away.
No. Yo, I can't with us.
We going there.
We going in. This is a great fucking episode.
I'm glad we did this.
Yep. Next question, or what you thinking?
Yeah, next question. We got another question?
Let's see. Well, who benefits from that system? We know who benefits from the system. But we do have listeners from Italy and Russia. So, who benefits from the system?
The people with the power.
Okay.
Created the system so they can stay in power. And if you think I'm lying, just take a look. It's in a book.
Just like there's generational trauma, there's generational privilege. Motherfuckers.
Oh, shit.
Next question is there a better way to live? This was your question. Is there a better way to live under capitalism, or is abolition the way, right? That's what you said, right?
I'm going to say it's abolition. I'm going to say it's abolition. Now, the hard part is how to abolish a system that has been in play for so long. How do we abolish? And I think a lot of that comes in like community and investing and organizing. And in terms of like organizing and creating these smaller systems to fight the big system, so to speak. We're not there. We're certainly not there. And also allyship. I think it'll take some people in power being like, this isn't it. And actually backing that opinion, backing that truth with capital. Put your money where your mouth is, quite literally. But the thing about power, it feels good and you want more of it. So, we're fucked. Essentially, it's
No, it's so sad.
we're fucked.
Fucked real hard.
With no lube.
Yeah. That's not how to know. That's not good.
No, lots of lube. Extra lube for me.
Yeah, because pain.
If it hurts, it's not the way.
Come on, slogan. Merch.
T-shirts coming soon. If it hurts, it's not the way. Pre-orders available now. I'm kidding, guys. I'm kidding.
Okay, listen. Y'all want to find us some more listeners? We can make some merch and send it real quick. So those are the questions.
Okay.
We wanna.
I wanna give us a little more hope. I wanna put some.
Take me to church.
Want to give us some hope. So I would love to get more involved and do some community organizing and like connection. And I think like where I'm at now, like vocationally speaking, I'm in a good place when I feel good and I'm connecting with the community in ways that I wasn't before because I didn't have time because my job was so draining. So I look forward to connecting with community in these ways. And I think that is a way that we can collectively buck against the system is finding that in each other and that community connection and enhancing that collective consciousness.
You better go off. Come on, Professor.
Stop it.
Ooh.
New thing.
That's where it is. Ooh,
New
Professor.
New thing.
Okay. We did that. That was a good topic. Let us,
Interact with us,
yes,
y'all.
let us know. Because you are also, a majority of our listeners are in the U.S. A lot of you are under this system as well. So we would love to hear from you because there's a lot to unpack here. And if you want a part 2, I'm sure we can make a part 2 for this one. Make a part 2. It's just never ending.
Never ending. We get endless material day by day. Also, if you're not in the U.S., I'm very curious about how your country is ran. Like, what is your government like? Are you under white capitalist culture, white supremacist culture? Like, let us know. Give us some feedback. Tell us how we can abolish the system.
Tell me.
Come on. Love it.
So, Shan.
Yeah.
You know what's next?
What's next? Ask me.
What you watching?
What am I watching? Okay. Currently, I'm not watching, I don't think I'm watching anything. Like, I don't think I'm watching a show. The last show I watched was Sister Sister. Yes, I took it back.
Because it gives.
It gives. It holds up. Largely. There are some parts where I was like, oh. But largely it does hold up. Well, P-Valley done came and went. I watched that shit. Ate that up.
Because so good.
So good.
I want more, like, now.
Right? I am here for queer characters. Anything with a queer character in it, I'm here. Oh, I am watching Station 19.
How is that?
It's good. It's in season 6.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You said I'm in it.
It's a spinoff of Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy is in its 19th season. I am not on track with Grey's Anatomy, so I can't speak to that. But
it's giving.
It's giving. We did watch that episode at Charles.
Oh, stop. I can't wait.
But Station 19 is good. There are queer characters or characters of color. It is a Shonda Rhimes creation.
You know
it's giving. It's giving.
Just like fucking Bridgerton. And like Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder and Grey's Anatomy and Private Practice. And it just keeps going.
Shonda Rhimes, man. She is... She deserves accolades.
Oh, yeah. Forever.
Mm-hmm. So, Franklin, what you watching?
I've been watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine nonstop. I'm on season 7 now. Season 7, episode 2. I'm in love with the strippers. I'm in love with the show.
Jake Peralta.
Daddy.
Real daddy and the daddy.
Yes. Yeah. I've been watching Grey's. I've also started rewatching The Bold Type.
You better rewatch The Bold
so
Type.
Good. And I might go back and rewatch The Nanny.
Okay.
And George Lopez. It's a lot of shit. But right now, what's giving is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Consistency. And I just know what I'm getting into.
It's a faithful one.
Oh,
It's a faithful one. It pulls through. There are a lot of people who are like, cab, I'm not watching cop shows. Meanwhile, I eat that shit up. I watch a cop show. Now, don't get me wrong. I definitely am for reform of the police system, and it was definitely created on racist values anyway. But racism, it's in there. You want to know how? You want to know why? You want to know why? You want to know why? Okay, because it was slavery. And then after slavery, it was like, oh my God, police system. Let's police it. Let's police these folks. Let's control them, because when you are arrested and you go to jail, you don't have rights. But I'm gonna watch me a cop show.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna watch me a cop show. I'm just watching, because at least if I don't get it in real life, at least the show gives me some form of justice. I like cop shows because they make me feel like justice is real in ways that real life don't. Your reaction killed me.
Not fiction, Lord.
Fiction.
Not fictional shows giving us hope through an imaginary lens.
Yeah.
Yikes. This is off topic, but piggyback on what you said before. You said you love seeing queer characters on shows. We should have an episode on queer representation in shows and people being upset about there being queer people living their lives as humans and falling in love with other queer people and having sex with other queer people, while also encouraging and celebrating and calling Jeffrey Dahmer attractive.
The real Jeffrey Dahmer? If that's what the girls want to say.
And listen here. People love to show up for these shows. Right? People love to bash shows that are actually, just, you brought up P-Valley, that are creating a space with positive representation. No, that's not okay. If masculinity is attacked in any way, under the system, it's a problem. But we can celebrate this
kill him
person who is
white man
who is killing in the show, right? But in the past, who was killing boys and men of color. but nobody. Are we okay with this happening? You know, there's more to it. There's more to it. But we'll get into that when we get into that. It's a little vague right now. The information I'm presenting is vague for a reason, but we'll get into it when we get into it.
To come. Well, as always, thank you, lovely listeners, for listening.
Yes, thank you so much. We are so grateful to have y'all listening in.
Yes, now interact with us.
Yes, please.
Until next time, remember, define yourself for yourself.
Use your voice. And be great.
I can't with you in that voice.
And
And be
be
great.
great.
Oh, wow.